Hey, JC Star here. And today I'm going to do something different. I want to talk about me so you get to know who I am and why I do a YouTube channel. And my allergies are bad right now, so bear with me. You know, when I was young, I grew up. I was the black sheep in the family. And those of you who were the black sheep of your family, you know what that's like. It's very lonely. The most important person that I looked up to was my mother, and still is today. My mother and father was very strict. I mean, right and wrong was big in my family. It's a big thing. Many butt kickings or ass whoopings for doing wrong in my family. And I was also, well, we were all comedians. I mean, my brother Lane just passed. My sister Kim, Michael, all of us were really comedians. I mean, we were always doing things to make my mother and each one of us laugh. I mean, we just grew up doing that. Very close family. Uh, we used to put on talent shows for my mother and father. You know, like on Christmas and stuff. We'll do little comedian things and funny things and shows. You know, we were always entertaining my parents. You know, and me. I always I was always doing something stupid, saying something stupid and funny, and it got to the point where as soon as I start, my mother's, oh, here, Jamie's getting started again, blah, blah, blah. You know, it was always like that. And then somewhere along the line, I've always had a way of saying things, you know, too direct, uh, too honest, too open, and I had a way of saying it where it intimidated people. I never realized that until adulthood, you know. I never realized that about me until I would say I had a lot of people off and on tell me, you know, I'm intimidating, you know, but I never took that serious. You know, I had to become a mature adult before I realized how I present my words and everything, and realize how it affected people. But my mother was always telling me, Jamie, you should do something. You know, write these write these things you're coming up with. Because I was, you know, weird. I would make up these stories and everything, and I loved doing it because I loved the way it touched my mother all the time. You know, she was always saying, Jamie, do something with this. Do something with this. And, you know, I laughed and I enjoyed watching her react to my entertaining her, because I love my mother. You know how it is. I'm a mama's boy. I always have been and always will be a mama's boy, and the biggest thing growing up was entertaining my mother, seeing my mother laugh, you know. So I got older and hit my early 50s, and then I started realizing why my life has been so difficult as far as with people. I'd like to say that I was the most misunderstood man on the planet. That's the way I looked at myself. I was so misunderstood by everyone. And when you live a life like that, if there's people out there right now that are like this and grew up this way, being misunderstood by everyone, then you know where I'm coming from. It's a lonely, lonely, lonely way to survive. But I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Just couldn't do it, no matter what. Couldn't hold down many friends. I've always had a small circle that I could count on 5 fingers. So my circle was always small, and the people in my circle would tell me that people are intimidated by you. You always look mean. The way you say things is mean, but I was never mean. It's just the way I am. And so I lived with that all my life. My mother got older. She's in her 80s now. And I got to thinking, what way can I touch people? Because I've always been touching people in some form, way, all my life too. I could never walk past somebody on the streets without giving something if they're homeless. I've always been like this. I care about things too much, which always gets me in trouble, taken advantage of, along with misunderstood. But I never let it stop me or change me. I notice on my YouTube channels, a lot of this stuff that I do that's, to me, is very big, don't get a lot of likes. And I think I understand why. I don't do these YouTube reels for money. I don't care about the money. And if I did get money for it, I would only find a way to give it away, like I've done all my life. Give to somebody, give to somebody, give to somebody, So, if I ever get 1,000 subscribers, and it is true about being paid for it, yeah, it'll help me help people even more, because I care about people, and that has always been my downfall, but it's who I am. But some of these reels, I try to touch people, make them see things. And I think I present it too directly. You know, that's why I'm doing this right now, because I want to understand. I think I have a way of presenting what I want to say too intimidating to people. But that's, you have to understand something. The thousands of reels that are out there saying things to teach you, these are God's children. They're doing God's work. They're trying to reach you to make you a better version of yourself. And I do the same thing. I'm one of his children too. I just have a different way of doing it. A more direct way, maybe. A more intimidating way, maybe. But I'm doing the same thing. It's no different. It's just coming from the most misunderstood person you could possibly know. That's all. But it's the same thing. And I want to know that I'm touching people somewhere. I try to do everything different. Something to make you smile. Something to make you just die laughing. Something to bring out a better version of yourself. It's a legacy that I want to leave behind. Giving back to the blessings that I received in my life. And the biggest blessing that I've ever received in my life was I used to take it out on God. People misunderstanding me, never being able to keep friends or relationships. I used to blame that on God. I used to get so angry at God and say, God, why don't you just kill me and get it over with? I used to say that all the time. Then I hit my 50s and I realized that God was never there the way I wanted him to be there. But he was always there the way I needed him to be there. He always made sure I didn't have to depend on nobody by keeping me with a good job. He was always there the way I needed him to be there, and I never saw that until I hit 50 before I realized that, and I cried. And I told him many times, I'm sorry I thought of you that way. I didn't see. So this YouTube channel is my way of giving back. And the biggest joy that I get out of it is my mother. Always telling me to do something with this. And this is what I'm doing. And this is the only reason why I'm doing it. And also, so the people that misunderstood me all my life, they look at my channels and maybe they might just see a little bit of light of who I was and who I am. And if that makes you smile, if it makes you happy, if you learn something from it, if I touch you in any way, shape, or form, then I know I'm doing God's work. But I don't mean to intimidate anybody, because I care about everybody. And I just want to do something memorable. I want to do something nicer. The songs that I sing, I hope some of them touch people. Maybe an old school song that you ain't heard in so long, and I put emotion in it because I want you to feel good. If it makes you smile, great. because that's all I want. I just want to not be misunderstood on my last years up that road. So I want people to know who I am. And I hope this helps. So enjoy the channel, you know, click on the likes, let me know that you're there. I know there's a lot of people viewing me, and I care about all of you. Just let me be me. Enjoy me being me. And I hope somehow, some way, that me being me helps you. God bless you all. And thank you for listening. Now you know a little bit more about me. Thank you.